Hello everyone, Kolokee here with another draft review. This is actually my first set 3 draft review video. I don't know if you've seen some of my other reviews. They were all set 1. I took a break during set 2, and I've been playing a lot of set 3 and I'm really enjoying it, and I just wanted to get a review out there for you guys. And I know some people said they've been struggling with set 3, and so I figured it'd be a good idea for me to put together some of my experiences and go over my thought processes for the picking orders and the ranks of cards, and then also some of the plays during the actual matches. So with that said, let's go ahead and get this started and open up the pack. So for pack 1, we actually open up a Star Sphere, which is kind of a crummy card in limited. It's actually almost a money card it's worth $1, which isn't bad for set 3. And so I figure I'll probably take that just for the value. But if we were just picking purely for strategy, which I probably should be doing for a review, but definitely the pick here would be the Chimera Guard Fallen. That guy is phenomenal. He's I love him. One of my favorite troops in set 3. So much fun to play with and just almost a bomb. He's great. But I went for the money. I took the Star Sphere. That also keeps me open, luckily, so I see that there's an Incubation Webs, which is a really strong removal spell, probably the best removal spell for spiders over Paraphagy, and there was actually a lot of Ruby Diamond in that pack, so I just wanted to pass that, and hopefully we'll get some spiders cards on the way back on pack 2. Here we we have a Torment to choose from, which I think is phenomenal in spiders. That card is just bonkers. It basically allows you to get to mill them, get to more spiders, and then just keep the train going. The more spiders you get, the more milling you do, and it just gets out of control. So I took that, and then this pack's kind of crusty. It doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff in it. No strong signals either way. Like right now, I'm basically not just trying to take the best card, but also just evaluating the structure of the pack, seeing what cards are available in different colors, and there's not a whole lot to be offered in this pack. So I think I'm looking at the Liar or the Suffocate, and I decide probably because the Liar's an excellent card, but it's just kind of slow. The Suffocate maybe will help cut off some spiders just a little bit. It's a really late summoner, actually, but obviously I'm still going the Sapphire Spider route, and I already passed the summoner. So if I pass that summoner also, I'm pretty much guaranteeing that somebody's going to start going Ruby Diamond, and I should get some good spider stuff on the way back. I think the Vilefang's a little bit better than the Infiltrator, and so I went ahead and took that. And then also in this pack, we see a Cripple, which isn't that phenomenal. I really love it in spiders. I think it's amazing. But I'm just looking at the rest of this pack. Like, look how great the Wild, and there's some good Ruby too. So Wild Ruby's probably open. There's a very late Skewer here, so Ruby's definitely open. But there is an Infiltrator, and we're this much committed so far, since there's still some spider cards, I go ahead and take the Infiltrator there, and think that it's going to be a good card for us. Here, there's not too much. Playing with fire, it's kind of a nuisance, but luckily spider decks tend to have troops with higher defense, so it's not that troublesome for us. So we picked up the Taint. There we got the Acolyte, because Mill is really strong in spiders. You definitely want some Mill. Here I was deciding between the Regalia probably or the Researcher, or I maybe could even cut the Soup, but I don't typically like to cut. I think there's a chance I might play the Researcher. If I pick up a couple more Acolytes, I could shift over the Mill ability, tap or exhaust the Researcher to mill, and then when he readies, I get to draw a card. So that's a kind of combo, but it's hard to pull off unless you get a bunch of Acolytes. Here we get an Epiphany kind of late, which is nice. I don't know if it'll make the cut, but it's a strong card, and a very late Oculus. Since we got a 15th pick, pretty solid uncommon. Probably the person to the right of us isn't in Sapphire, unless there's just 2 really good Sapphire cards to choose from. Here we open up a Thunderfield Elder, which should be a money card in my opinion. He's a really strong card, and he's playable and constructed, but he's not worth that much right now. And there's a Vilefang over there, which I just love. That guy is just like a 1-card combo if you're playing Ozin. But I think it's a tough pick. Like, I was really trying to decide. It's also the Rotting Knight, which is great value. You can give him the -2 attack when he comes into play, and then still have that 2/1 body to trade with something else. There's a Cripple, which I said I love, and I just love it in spiders. You're trying to win with evasion, so the Cripple is just a phenomenal card, but it usually goes pretty late. So really, I think I'm trying to decide between the Thunderfield Elder for the playable aspect of it, and then also the fact that it could be worth something, and then the Vilefang. But I just love the Vilefang so much that I went ahead and snagged them up right there. And then we get an Incubation Webs passed to us, which is phenomenal. That's just one of the best spider cards there is. Let's see. In this pack, there's a Hatchery Priest and a Web Guard. Those are the 2 main cards I'm looking at. I'm not really looking at either of the Disciples or the Brawler. It's just between the web guard and the hatchery priest, and I think the hatchery priests tend to go a little bit later than the web guards, so I wouldn't be surprised if I take the web guard here. It's a really solid card. For this pack, we get the Paraphagy, which is great, spider generation and removal spell. I think it's better than the Arachnomancer. I used to think the Arachnomancer was just a bomb, but he's just too slow, and you got to take the removal there. Paraphagy is just so solid. Here we've got the Kin of Olgroth, which is pretty good, but really the three cards I'm looking at is the Eremite, the Psychic Torment, and the Cyclone Shaman. Those three cards are all like amazing cards in spiders. You want all three of those, but I already have one Torment. So if I didn't have a Torment yet, I'd probably take the Torment here because they're kind of harder to get because it's an uncommon and it's just a great piece of the combo. But since I do already have one and I'm planning on going Ozin, I think I'm going to take the Eremite here. He's just such a critical part of the deck. I'm basically trying to build a deck around him. I am trying to play spiders, but he's just a critical component of the deck. And Cyclone Shaman is a great value and a tremendous card, but it's not necessary, where Eremites, like, you just need them. They're amazing. So here there's the removal of the Vampiric Kiss, which I think is the pick. The Rummager is great for late games when it's stalled out board positions. You can get rid of some of those excess shards, and I think it's a little too early to take the Acolyte. The Web Guard here has got to be the pick. I would like to have the Arcane Focus, but the Web Guard's phenomenal. 1/4 for 2 is just great value, and then the added ability of being able to exhaust to prevent people from attacking in with their fatties every once in a while is just it's phenomenal. So here we've got there's actually a really late Ethereal Caller, but we're just going to go ahead and stay with something that might help our deck out with either the Entangling Webs or the Eggblight Afflictor. And I think I just want the Spider Generation, so I go ahead and take the Afflictor. Here we see a really late Cripple, which I love. I think a lot of people would take the Kin here and just put the Mill Gem in it, which wouldn't be bad, but since, like I was saying, Spiders just wants to win with evasion, basically. The Cripple is effectively a removal spell. It doesn't matter that the troop's still on the board, unless it has some like activated ability or some static effect. If it's just, typical Basher, it just tries to beat in. If you cripple it, you don't really care that it can just still be there with no attack because you're trying to win with evasion and Eremite pings or even by mill. So crippling it is just effectively removing some troops. So I really like that. Here we got a Hatchery Priest, which is great, really late pickup, Incubate as well. And then there's a Kin right there, which I'll definitely take. And then we're getting some really good stuff here late. We got a choice here between a Rummager and the Acolyte. It's actually pretty tough. I do go with the Rummager, but I could see it either way. And we get a last pick Incubate, which is also really nice. Here we open up a Mistlord. We're not going to take that, but the Runeweb Infiltrator is perfect. It's a phenomenal 2-drop. Gives you some egg generation, and it's just it's excellent in spiders. One of the better troops. So here we're not seeing much, unfortunately. It's I may have to take the Taint. I don't like the Merciless Caller that much. There's a lot of decks where they just have like weenies or like a spy if they're playing banana, and they just have like extra little troops that don't really matter. If they're playing like something with prophecy, maybe they just played like a little dork that has some little mini prophecy effect, and then they don't mind just sacrificing that later on. So even though you can't get some good value out of it sometimes, I typically don't play the colors as much as other people do, and I play the Taint way more than some people do because I love the reverse combat trick effect of Taint, of giving the -1/-1 permanently. Like you can just kill something with 1 defense straight out, or you can use it to just mess up the combat math and shrink something by 1 and kill it that way. Here I take a Cripple over a Rotting Knight. Again, I think a lot of people would probably take the Rotting Knight because you could kind of get that value with the -2 attack, and then you still have that 2/1 body behind. But I love the quick action sneakiness of the Cripple, and sometimes just the -4 attack is bigger. Like if they have like a Giganosaur, a lot of times you have 4 defense troops and spiders, so that way you can go ahead and cripple something that big and still deal with it. So we get another Cripple here, so it's 4 cripples. This time I was actually really considering taking the Focus. I was like, is 4 cripples too many? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm just in love with the card. But I went ahead and took the 4th Cripple over the Arcane Focus. And here I think I got to take the Web Guard, but I was actually considering not doing it because I already had 2 of them, and I just wanted Spider Generators at this point. With 3 Eremites and 2 Web Guards already, I'm thinking, wow, I've got a lot of ways to benefit when my opponent draws a Spider Egg, but I don't have a lot of ways to make them. So I was actually considering putting in like a Spider Nest. If I already had the 3rd Web Guard, I probably would have taken the Spider Nest over the 4th Web Guard because they're really good. They work really well together. Here, I don't think I'm going to take the Brave because I'm not going to really play it. I ended up cutting the Mystic because it's one of the rare situations where I cut something. There's a good chance nobody behind me or left is going to be playing those colors. But if somebody is playing that against me, they can stop drawing the spiders, and it can be a problem for us. So I went ahead and got it out of the pool. Here, I could have taken the 1/2 flyer. Maybe I should have, just so that people can't play that against me and block my infiltrators. But I went ahead and took the researcher. Here, the vivisector is, it's good. Maybe I should have taken the incubate. I think I take the vivisector, but maybe the incubate was the call. I think I didn't take the incubate just because I already had 3 of them. And incubate's not a phenomenal card at all. It only puts 3 in. I used to not even think it was playable, but it's growing on me a little bit because you don't need that many spiders if you're playing mill. And because I'm going to go Ozin, and I also have the Psychic Torment, I decided I'd go ahead and take the Spider Generation. And another factor for the incubates is the Cyclone Shaman. I think Cyclone Shaman is, even though it doesn't really synergize too much with the deck, with the Spider theme, it's just such a strong card. It's air defense. Like spiders in general, the tactic is you want to prolong the game until you can get some spiders in their deck, or eggs in their deck, and then the longer the game goes on, the more spiders you get, and then they're unblockable, and you just ping away at them. But you need to prolong the game long enough so that they start drawing the spider eggs, because spiders is a very RNG based archetype. So they might not draw the spiders right away. So the Cyclone Shaman kind of stalls up the air a little bit, but at the same time it gives you that added value of getting back some of your actions. But the problem is I have a Hatchery Priest, which is a 1-drop, and I have 6 2-drop troops. So there's a good chance I'm going to hit a troop with Cyclone Shaman with the Prophecy that's going to be 2 or less. And so I wanted some actions that cost 2 or less, and so I ran these 3 incubates there. And I think a lot of people probably would have played the Vampiric Kiss, maybe even the Kin. There's a lot of good cards in my sideboard that I chose not to play. But I think because I just needed the Spider Generation, I went ahead and played some arguably weaker cards to benefit the deck as a whole. And I also went with the Acolyte. I was considering going the Vivisector over the Psionic Acolyte. And I definitely have enough Venom to make that work. But because I have 3 Web Guards, I wanted to have the Acolyte, because not just for the recurring mill effect, but also for the added bonus of being able to mill on their turn, so that I can exhaust their troops before they attack. If I play the Vivisector, I might hit some spiders, but it's just going to exhaust their troops so they can't block. And I don't really care if they can't block, because I'm trying to attack with spiders anyways for the most part, which are already unblockable. So I'd much rather exhaust their troops during their turn, or hit a spider during their turn to exhaust their troops with the Web Guard. So I went with the Acolyte there. And I mean, I had a lot of good choices. The deck was kind of hard to build. I'm not 100% sure I built it the most optimal way, but I liked the build. I liked the curve. I thought it was pretty consistent, and I'll just go ahead and show you guys how it played out. So for match 1, we were up against Mimosa, who is playing Alindra, 5 charges. Put a Giganosaur into your hand, and we get a pretty bad starting hand. We're gonna have to pitch that one. And our second chance hand is it's all right. It's, 5 shards and a Vilephange, but we have all our thresholds, and we are we pick up a nice 2-drop as well. So it's actually looking pretty good. Now we got a 4-drop, so our curve is going to be pretty nice this time. But we don't have any spider generators, and our opponent has they missed their 3rd land drop, but they have played some good ramp, and that Sky Guard, Sky Dancer is going to be really problematic for us. That is an excellent troop. It's a 1/4. Can block our flight troops. We have 3 infiltrators that basically not only get blocked, but would die once they get blocked by that card. And then it also provides some ramp, and it's an elf on top of that. It's an excellent troop in Wild. But we pick up a Torment here, and we decide to go ahead and swing in with all 3 troops. So even if he blocks, he could have growth, but I just wanted to start milling him out a little bit, trying to, even though we haven't put any spider eggs into his deck, it's not going to be that amazing, but at least we could try to mill him a little bit. And I can't believe it, he had like a Return to the Soil and just like crushed my dreams, kills my Torment. I couldn't believe he played that. Like, this is game 1, this is before sideboard, it just broke me. So I was kind of bummed out about that, but I'm still hoping we're in this. The problem is, he hasn't been playing too many shards. He just drew that ruby. He's got a ton of cards in hand, and they're all non-shard cards. Like, they're all just things to do. And I'm sitting over here basically already stalled out. He's put me in a halt. I'm not putting any spiders in his deck. I'm not getting any damage through. And he's just, yeah, he's killing my guys. He's got things to play. I'm feeling kind of nervous about this one. So I sit back. I got my cripples in hand. He's only got one shard open, so I decide I'll go ahead and double block. He could. The only thing he could really have is like a Stinkhorn Soup, but that wouldn't stop me from crippling him and still doing what I want to do anyway. So we luckily peel an Incubation Webs there, which was awesome. So now we can exhaust that Skyguard troop, swing in with our Cyclone Shaman, and we're starting to put some eggs into his deck at the same time. So that was a really great draw there. That card is just so good in spiders. I think that's unless you open up like a Brood Baron or something, that's like almost an auto first pick for spiders. He's got a Predatory Prey, unfortunately, kills our Shaman, and then gets to swing in for a 4/3. So, and we draw a shard. We're down to just our one little 1/4 guy. Like, he's got like 2 spiders in his deck, maybe a little more, and we've got a cripple, and he's got a grip full of just awesome stuff. Nothing but gas, I'm sure. And he plays a Filcape, which can revert our Incubation Webs, and I draw an Infiltrator, which I decide not to play because I know he's going to be able to block him, not this turn, but the next turn anyways, and I'd rather hold on to it, hopefully to draw an Incubate, and if I draw an Incubate, I can get it back, so I'll be able to put 6 spiders into his deck with the Cyclone Shaman Prophecy ability on the Infiltrator. He plays another 4 attack guy, which, if you're playing spiders, you really don't want to see troops with 4 attack because they just break spider decks, because most of our troops are 4 defense. But luckily we do peel an Incubate, so I do get to put 6 eggs into his deck. But he plays Giganosaur. He's still got 4 cards in hand. He's got a pretty substantial board state. We've got a shard in hand and 2 little Dorkit troops. We draw another shard, and unless he gets some spiders, which he doesn't, I think it was about time to pitch it there. So I make some strange adjustments here in the sideboard. I get rid of the Torment, because that's my only artifact / constant card that he can target with Return to Soil. So if he gets Return to Soil, it'll be a dead card for him. Even though Torment's great, it kind of sucks to sacrifice that, but I don't want to get blown out again, and I don't think I necessarily need it. I decided to put in a Suffocate because I know he's got Giganosaurs, which I can kind of, it's pretty much telegraphed when he's going to play that. As soon as he gets to 7 shards or close to it, I can kind of hold back. He's also going to be playing other fatties. I also decided to probably take out all 3 of my Infiltrators because he's got Skyguard, and since he's wild, he's probably also got maybe a Rot Root or 2, or maybe even he's siding in like Vine Lashes or something. So I decided to go ahead and get rid of those guys and just put in some Rummagers, play for the late game a little bit, and put in one more of the Acolyte because he has a 5 defense, and it seemed like he had a lot of 4 attack troops. So yeah, decided to run it like that, and our hand's okay. We're missing some Sapphire, unfortunately. We do have a turn 1 Incubate, but I don't know how great that is, how much that's worth celebrating. Except he does draw an egg right off the top, so I guess that was pretty sweet. And then we put on the Ozin ability onto it. Basically, my thought process here was, I want him to kill this thing. Like, I don't want him to waste removal on something else. So I felt like I would just kind of bait him out with this thing. Like, he's probably not going to just remove a spider, but if I put that one ability on it, he might. But he doesn't. He just plays the 3/2 Surprise Coyote, and we still haven't drawn a Sapphire. Oh, there he does his Fiery Indignation, so we do get 1 removal out of his hand. But we're still waiting on our Sapphire, and it is not looking good at this point. Yep, still no Sapphire. But the other thing is he's stuck on 3 as well, and his deck's really expensive. So if we can kind of hold off for a little bit or draw out of the Shard Screw before him, even though he's bashing with 3 a turn, we still have a few turns to potentially draw out. And if we get 1 Sapphire, we can cripple at 3/2 and basically stabilize a little bit. So I put another Ozin ability on this thing. Maybe I'll bait out some more of the removal. If not, I might hit another spider. Who knows what'll happen. And yeah, we do get the Sapphire and get to cripple that. We draw a Vile Fang, which is great. I like that. And we swing in, and we're starting to we're really hoping he doesn't draw that 5th shard, because as you can see, he pitched a healer there. He's got things he can do. He just needs that 5th shard, and we got lucky to get our Sapphire before he got his 5th shard. So we mill out a shard luckily, and we play both of our 1/4 guys, and we're just kind of holding off his squad right now, just basically stabilizing. Like, we were at 5, now we got it back up to 6, and every spider we get now, we're going to gain a little bit more life just to help stabilize us even more. And now we have a 5th shard even. We're still looking for that 2nd Sapphire, but we do have a Paraphagy option. I think I decided to go with the Rummager here, just because it'll help me get to that 2nd Sapphire faster, and I know I don't really want to use a Paraphagy on either one of those troops. Obviously, the one guy's crippled, and the Niblin is going to be a little bit too slow. So I think as soon as he hits 5 shards, he's got nothing but probably 5 and 6 cast things in his hand that he's just going to keep doing. So I'd rather hold back the Paraphagy for like something else he drops, and just go ahead and get the Rummager out there to try to get me to that 2nd Sapphire. So he's thinking about it for a while, trying to decide what to do. I know he's got a lot of options with his deck. He's probably got a ton of 5 drops, and I'm not sure what he does. Yeah, I was not expecting that. He played a Gossamer Tears, so he gains a bit of life there, and it wasn't. I was kind of happy to see that, because as long as it's not a big threat, I mean, that basically buys him a little bit of time, but it doesn't hurt me at all. So I was pretty happy to see that. And then we do also get our 2nd Sapphire, which was excellent. So I can play this Hatchery Priest, and I can play the Cyclone Shaman. So pretty sweet for us, and our hand's pretty strong. Unfortunately, we milled his Return to the Soil, so he's not going to be stuck with that in hand. So he does have Vine Lashes, so he did side in some Vine Lashes. Other than the Cyclone Shaman, which gets value right away when he comes into play, because he just prophesies the next troop in my deck. Other than that, he's not going to get too much value with the Vine Lashes, because I took out the Infiltrator. So I'll definitely keep those out going into Game 3. So he'll have some dead cards in his deck, and he's also got that Tears, which I don't think is that good against us. But we're looking actually a lot better now, because we stabilized, we're gaining the life, and we still have a really strong hand against him. So we have Predatory Praise, and he actually targets the I guess he couldn't deal 4 damage to any of the other things, so he just decides to kill the Spider Generator, which makes sense. So I play the Acolyte, get back and Incubate, which gives me 3 spiders, which is sweet, and then swing in and hopefully hit some more spiders. He'll probably block here. Yeah, he blocks the Ozin, takes some damage. Don't really need to activate because he's just about to ready his guys during his turn. And then we hit a bunch of spiders during his turn, which is great, so we can exhaust all of his troops and then swing in for even more. And I'm just checking out his graveyard, seeing what, not just seeing what we milled, but also just recapping on what else is in his deck to try to just refresh my memory going into Game 3, which I think is a good habit to have if you're fairly certain the game's going to be over. Win or lose, if there's going to be another game after that, you might as well just take a quick peek at their graveyard and just double check and see what else is in there. He may have a trick or something that you may have forgotten about, and then you can prepare yourself for it for the following game. So I think we keep the deck about the same, and we just we keep this hand. It's okay. We do need some blood, but we have some cripples to buy us some time, and we do peel a blood shard. And actually, our opponent's at 1 minute. I do remember he was taking a lot of time. He may have had some internet issues, or maybe playing on a slower PC or something, but he's only got like 30 seconds left. So with this hand, it's actually pretty perfect. We can just stall with some cripples, counter some things, and I doubt he's going to be able to win in like the next 20 seconds. So unfortunately for him, I don't know what was causing the problems, but we end up going on to round 2. And round 2, we're actually up against the same champion, Alindra, and we're playing against the Tempest. And our hand's pretty sweet. Yeah, I like this hand a lot. I love having a turn 2 Infiltrator. It's one of the best things to have in spiders. It's a lot of pressure, getting in 2 spiders a turn and doing the damage in the air, and the evasion with I could throw an Ozin ability onto it. It's really strong. So I'm glad to have that on turn 2. And he plays just a wild and then passes the turn. Wow, that was a nice pickup too. We got our incubation webs, so we're waiting on a second sapphire for that, but we have a ton of other plays to play in the meantime. So I'm liking this hand so far. And I'd rather have more blood than more sapphires since I have all the different Vile Fangs in the deck. And then we got our second sapphire there, so we can play pretty much everything in our hand. And he's actually playing Wild Diamond, which is pretty surprising. It's an unfamiliar or uncommon shard combination in set 3. So pretty interesting. For 3 resources and those colors, though, you can't really have any surprise things like surprise block with like Skyguard or anything. You could have a stinging ambush, but I just decided to go ahead and swing in. I'm not going to play around that uncommon. Or is it uncommon? I don't know. But not worth playing around it either way. So we swing in. He doesn't do anything. And then, I don't know why. I guess I just forgot to play a web guard. But I definitely should have played a web guard. And he plays a Spirit Oracle. So that's definitely something we are going to incubation webs. That is it's an awesome target, which not only does it exhaust it right away, but that's going to start putting in Spider's eggs into his deck each turn, and we can put the Ozin on our guy. Basically, I'm not sure the order. I think you actually get to put the eggs in before you mill them, which is pretty sweet. And there, he plays a Performer, which is an awesome card in Wild. I love that card. The Sylvan Performer is phenomenal. And we put another charge power. We kind of just go all in on the Infiltrator, so we can mill 2 cards, and also put 2 eggs into his deck, and hopefully get some more spiders. And the other time we messed up, but that time we purposefully did not play the web guard because we know he's wild, and there's a good chance he's going to have predatory prey as like one of the few answers to kill our flyer that we were pretty much going all in with. So as soon as he cast the predatory prey, we responded with Cripple, and he pretty much just scooped at that point because it was looking pretty bad for him. We were just getting too far set up. Here, I think I do kind of a similar thing. Add the Suffocate, add the 2/5, and I actually keep in some of the flyers because I didn't see too many Skyguard troops from him. So I decided to keep in the Infiltrator in this matchup. And we get a really good hand, actually. I like this hand a lot. He starts off with a Nibirin, but he can't really swing into the... I mean, he could have bluffed. If he would have bluffed, maybe... I probably still would have blocked, because he couldn't have had too much. He could have had, like, a Steering Oration or something, but... I don't know. I probably would have... It's worth bluffing, though, for him. There's no reason for him not to bluff. So, we do get the 1/4 that can block basically his whole team. And we're just getting a ton of good stuff here. This is just a really good draw for us. I don't know if he sided in that Tree Guard, but that is a good sideboard. Anytime you can, if you have those guys in your sideboard, it's worth putting in. They're actually really playable main deck, but just 4 attack in general against spiders is like the key number. If you have 4 or more, then you're basically going to be able to get through some damage because most of the spiders just have 1 defense, spider troops. So here I decided to go ahead and cripple this tree guard. I could have crippled it before I took the 4 damage, but I kind of wanted to see what else he played. But I decided I'll just go ahead and cripple that at the end of turn, and then incubation webs his Whisperer. And then I get to swing in with the Vile Fang, and he just chumps with the Sunseer, because if he doesn't chump there, he's going to take... Not only is he going to take 1 damage, but he's going to get milled for 2, and then we might hit a bunch of spiders. So right now we're kind of comboing off, and he sees that. He just decides to go ahead and call it. So that's a pretty quick match, but we got some really good draws that match. So it was really, really favorable for us just based off what we drew. And here we're not getting any Sapphire yet, but we're up against Madam Banana, and he gets a really strong turn 2 play. You know, a lot of people like to play this card, the Brawler, in these color combinations because they like to also play things like Abominate, and if you can Abominate a Brawler and your opponent doesn't have an answer to it, it's a pretty short game. And I play this game terribly, by the way, so there's a little spoiler. I'm just like the worst player ever in this match. I think I just choose the removal spells. Like, I've got pretty good answers. Like, I've got 3 removal spells theoretically, but I just use them in the complete wrong way. Like, I cripple the guy with Rage when I don't have any way to like stop him from just swinging in to just get more attack. So I should have crippled the Death Gaze and then just put like incubation webs on the the brawler. But for some reason, I don't even put the incubation webs on the brawler because I already crippled it, and I didn't want to, I don't know, look dumb or something. So now I just like compounded the problem. And luckily, we've got a 1/4 that's, you know, blocking his 3/3 and his 1/1. He can't swing in with those, and we still do have answers. He gets to kill our guy with the Paraphagy, but we can block the 3/3. He doesn't have any other tricks. So I go ahead and just cripple after damage again. A lot of times I like to wait until after damage. Maybe I shouldn't, but I just want to see what else they're going to play if they have something better. But we go ahead and use the incubate anyways, or the incubation webs, which I should have just done a long time ago. So not only did I cost myself 2 cards when I shouldn't have, but I missed out on a lot of eggs being put into our opponent's deck. But we are kind of stabilizing a little bit. We can block the 3/3. He just keeps swinging in there just to, I guess, you know, bluff a little bit. And then also we're taking 1 damage from the caller here. So I decided to go ahead and just, I'm basically going all in on the that Ozin there. So if he kills that thing, I'm pretty much screwed. I just put a ton of eggs into his deck with an incubate, and I go ahead and Paraphagy, and I've got a way to block his color, but he's kind of picking away at me in the air. I decided to go ahead and block there, just take the 3, go to 5, and it's not really looking that good. I really need to draw a spider. He gets a spider before me, which I was kind of surprised about, but then finally we get a spider, and with the Ozin Eremite thing, it just kind of goes bananas. This is ridiculous. Like, you just hit 1 spider, and if you have a couple Ozin triggers on your Eremite, and it just basically just mill your opponent to death in just like 1 shot. So that's why Ozin is so ridiculous with Eremite. Like, it was looking so grim. My opponent had a crazy board state. I was getting picked away, you know, just a little point, like one little flyer at a time. But as soon as I got like 1 spider, it just triggered like the rest of his deck basically, which isn't uncommon. That happens fairly frequently. Let's see how I sideboard here. I think, yeah, I put in the Vampiric Kiss because his deck did seem to have a lot of, you know, Diamond Blood has a lot of 2 defense troops that I got to worry about. Maybe I'll have some Spirit Eagle, stuff like that, or Grim Harvester, something like that. So I like the Vampiric Kiss in this matchup. I could have put in the Taints for the, because I'm guessing he's going to have Spirit Bound Spies, but because I have 4 cripples, they kind of do the same thing. They basically just negate. Like, that's another reason why I love cripple, because if I could cripple in response to him swinging in with the brawler, shrink the attack, and then all of a sudden I can block and kill it. Or, you know, if he stacks up some kind of shifting shenanigans with like a Chimera Guard, whatever it's called, the 2/2 guy that gives plus attack equal to his defense, I can cripple that, and, you know, basically just kind of get some really good value with cripple in this matchup. So he kind of got stuck on, no, I think he got stuck on 2 shards, maybe not. No, he's got a good start, but we got a really good start also. So with a turn 2 Infiltrator and him not being able to stop it, and then with me being able to play a Psychic Torment, also put Ozin on it, I'm already getting spiders. And then once you get spiders with Torment out, it just, like I said before, it just gets out of control. Like, the spiders just get you more spiders, then you get more spiders that just give you even more spiders, and then it's so hard to come back from, especially when I just put 4. I killed like his best guy, put 4 spiders in, and it's pretty crazy. Like, I get to exhaust one of his flyers. The other flyer is just, you know, a spirit token basically, but I go ahead and decide I'll go ahead and just kill it so it'll clear the path for the Infiltrator, which I have double, maybe even triple Ozin by now. And so it's definitely going to give us some spiders, and that's going to be the game. So that's the draft. It was pretty poorly played by me, but I think the drafting picks, I just wanted to basically show you guys my thought process for the drafting, like the pick orders and how highly I rank Cripple, which I think a lot of people might be surprised by. Like, I definitely taken Cripple over like a Riding Knight or a Kin. I think those would probably not happen too often, but because, like I said, the way Spiders wants to win with the evasion and the Ozin Eremite pings and stuff like that, you can get away with playing something like Cripple, and it's actually really effective. So I think that's one thing I really wanted to show you guys. Also, I just want to show you guys the Eremite combo in general. It's phenomenal, and why going Ozin is sometimes a really powerful are a really good idea in spiders. You don't have to just go the spider champion that most people would consider, you know, the blood sapphire one. So I think I like the deck. I think I've had better spider decks, but I think that deck came together quite well and played pretty nicely. And even though I made some play mistakes, I think I was pretty pleased with the draft, and we got it done. And I just wanted to do a review for you guys. So sorry it's been so long. Hopefully, I've been playing set 3 and I've been loving it. So I'm gonna keep reviewing, you know, recording some of the drafts I do, and then when I get some wins, I'll go ahead and, you know, dissect it a little bit, make some more reviews if you guys like, and you know, try to keep them coming because I'm having a blast playing Hex as always, and I love doing it. So if you guys have any comments or any questions, feel free to put them down below, and I'll definitely read them and get back to you, and I'd appreciate any feedback. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time. Take care.